Bonjour à tous et merci beaucoup d'avoir pris le temps d'être avec nous aujourd'hui. On va parler d'un sujet d'intérêt commun en général, l'Europe. Pour continuer la logique de la présentation d'introduction aujourd'hui, Nicolas Dufour, et la vérité de comment la Commission européenne participe dans la réindustrialisation de l'Europe. C'est un sujet intéressant que je souhaite switcher en anglais avec la valeur ajoutée de donner ce sens international à la table ronde. Donc, thank you everybody to be here. We are going to continue this round table, the strategic role of the European Commission in the reindustrialization of Europe. I'm delighted to have today Denisa PERRIN, who is the head of the Department of European Innovation Council, AC Accelerator. This is a program addressed to the breakthrough technologies focused for the future. That means the industrialization of this technology in the next 3-5 years. So thank you very much, Denisa, to be with us. You are in charge of the department AC Accelerator. You are deploying the action from AC Accelerator and AC Step in Europe. More than 25 countries who can be a beneficiary of this financement. So to start, Denisa, please, could you explain us briefly which is the mission of the European Innovation Council and what you are doing for support the industrial innovation in Europe?
Bonjour, good morning, and thank you for having me here today. It's a real pleasure to represent the European Union and what we are doing here for reindustrialization of Europe. We are financing our European deep tech startups and scale-ups. And many thanks for the invitation, Emilio. I mean, today and the whole day and the whole event is dedicated to reindustrialization, to support to startups, to the deep tech. And you may be wondering what Europe is doing. What Europe is doing to help the startups, the deep tech startups, to stay in Europe. Is there anything dedicated to help them? And I'm quite happy to answer that yes. We have the European Innovation Council that was actually set up as a pilot in 2018. It's been actually a sort of startup itself. Since the budget of the 2021, we are part of the Horizon Europe. And we are here to really accompany the innovators, what in American English we would say the innovator's journey. So we start at looking at where the possibilities are, what the ideas are. So we are not looking at a certain technology or certain maturity of technology. We are actually quite technology agnostic. What we want to know and what we want to find is where the capabilities are, where the ideas are, to go into the labs and really bring them and help them on their journey to really become startups and have impact economically on the market. So in my part, we finance the part where really already there is a company and that has an idea and that is ready to scale it up to the market. So the accelerator is really taking care of the part of the journey that is bringing the ideas to the market. Therefore, as we are very close to the market, we are proposing a combination of grants and equity. And this is what makes the instrument very different. It's an extremely competitive instrument at the level of Europe. And over past years, we became the leading early stage deep tech investor in Europe. We have the largest portfolio of deep tech companies in Europe, providing them with patient capital, because you know yourself that the deep tech startups, what really they need is to really to cover the de-risking part and somebody who provides them the patient capital at least over 10 years. So this is what we offer them. What we offer them, we are never leading investors, we are co-investors, but we are here to really cover what we call the risk premium.
Up now, European Innovation Council is financing the enterprise through a selection in 3 phases with a subvention, a grant for 2.5 million euros and investment in equity up to 10 or 15 million euros knowing the year, how this structure of investment, a structure of support, grant support, financing support, investment support, go well in the industrialization. How many enterprises you are supporting right now who are preparing the next step, the industrialization? Which kind of sectors you want to develop? Which kind of technologies you think is the future in Europe, and why? Why European Innovation Council and SME Agency is looking forward with these technologies in line with which politics of European Commission?
Okay, thank you, Emilio. This is a complicated question. I will start maybe answering your question that if we take the perspective of a company, what a company needs to be and needs to do to become part of the family, to apply for the financing, and who will be part of the family members technologically wise, and what type of companies they will meet and what services they will get. So as you said, Emilio, you need to be a startup, you need to be a small or medium enterprise, and you need to have an idea in deep tech. You need to be able to already have advanced technologies, so complete what we call the TRL 5. What you can ask for is either only grant or a combination of grant and equity. The equity can go now until 10 million euro. The grant is 2.5 million euro, or only equity. It depends really on your needs and on the maturity of the development of the company. We are never looking at the technology itself. What we need to understand is the market potential of the technology, and if the company has applied for the blended finance, to understand also the potential to raise the rounds, because we really want the companies to be able to scale up in European markets, to go abroad, to scale up globally. For this, we need investors, and we need also co-investors. This is one thing. For the portfolio and how many companies we have. So just quick figures. I mean, when we started with the pilot in 2018, since then we finance around 6,000 companies. Currently in the portfolio, I have around it changes because we are closing many companies this year. We have around 600 companies, and we invested in around 300. In terms of equity. So you imagine, we started in 2021. What is the structure of the European ecosystem? Given that we are mainly technology agnostic, so we really let the companies come up with their emerging ideas. We don't prescribe. We have some challenges. I'll come to that a bit later. The structure of the portfolio also corresponds to the evolution of Europe. So we have still a lot of medical technologies, health biomed. Now we are moving a lot towards AI, semiconductors, quantum, green tech, clean tech, nuclear fusion, advanced materials. So the portfolio is evolving a lot. What we do, actually, for the figures, we invested in the 300 companies. When you imagine, we are never lead investors. We invested around €1 billion and attracted another almost €3 billion of co-investment. We work with a huge number of other actors. We have hundreds of VCs, around 30 of government and sovereign fund. We have over 100, towards 150 of corporate strategic investors. So we are technology agnostic with combination of challenges. Just for the challenges this year, what we have in the work program, that I don't forget. So we had advanced material, we had European generative AI, we have biotech-driven low-emission food, and we have breakthrough innovation for future mobility. So these challenges, they change, they evolve every year. And we are helped in defining these challenges not only by priorities of the European Commission, but also we work with what we call program managers. It's sort of DARPA, ARPA style, really scientific colleagues who are helping us to manage the portfolio from the technology point of view.
Really interesting, Denisa, at this point of view. maybe in the context and macro question, to try to compare why European Commission is taking this initiative to finance the enterprise, because it's not normal. Imagine that European Commission going to invest directly in these breakthrough technologies in a global context, or competitors, the United States, China. Which kind of risk we are taking if we don't invest in these technologies? Which are your vision of this European 3-5 years when SME are going to show the results of the selection of these enterprises?
Thank you, Emilio, for this question. This is the very basic mission of the EIC, and this is how we are driven. This is really the idea, is that Europe needs to become a leader, not a follower, in strategic technologies, in critical technologies for Europe. Because if we don't act, these technologies, these companies will find their investors elsewhere, in the United States, in the Gulf, in China. So the IP, the property right, intellectual property rights of these technologies, they will move outside Europe, and Europe would completely lose our strategic advantage in being the leader and owner of the strategic and critical technology. So this is the main motivation, and also going in this direction. Last year, we added also what we call strategic technologies for Europe platform, where we really define the technologies and provide even additional support to companies operating and scaling up in these technologies.
Denisa, we are in an important point for Brussels. We are in the negotiation of the multi-annual financial framework, what means the money that whole Europe going to expand the next 7 years. What are you thinking in European Innovation Council for the future? How much money we need for the next period? We're going to start in 2028 at 2034. Which kind of process steps we are going to see? Maybe the new industry will arrive, these technologies, the space satellite, the quantum, the AI going to arrive. Your vision of the future for the framework program theme, the continuation of Horizon Europe, Denisa.
Thank you for the question. So far, and I'm very happy for that, the European Innovation Council has been very, very successful. We managed over very few years to gain trust of companies, to gain trust of investors. We have a very, very huge demand. The success rate when you apply for EIC Accelerator is around 5% for the companies. So we understand the demand is here, the need is there. We also try to address and to build on what has been financed and created before. So with the Green Deal, especially in France, but in many other member states, we really put the grounds for future and emerging technologies. Now we are continuing with very strong AI pipeline, the same with semiconductors, quantum computing. And this is really the way how we can together, with Bpifrance, with national actors, to ensure that we are addressing the real needs, the real needs of Europe, the real needs of enterprises, really making sure that we have the technologies, that we have the industries that stay in Europe, that create additional added value, productive added value in Europe, and create jobs. Because what we always see with supported companies, that once we support the companies, usually there's a supported company in the 2 years after the closure of the project increases by over 50% also the operational revenues. It means that the money, that the revenues, they stay in Europe, and we really bring prosperity in Europe. And we see that there is a demand, there is a need, and we cannot function without. And that's why also this was recognized by European Commission in summer, in July, where the European Commission published their proposal for the next multi-annual financial framework, where they recognize the needs and propose to over double the budget for the European Innovation Council. Because we really believe that this is a scheme that is simple, that the proposes to support innovation journey of companies. Innovative companies, especially we have a lot of innovative, very strong innovative companies in France, and that already received previous support, have been incubated. So this is something that it's extremely beneficial for Europe, and I'm sure that in France, this is something that can really bring prosperity to regions and to every places.
Thank you, Denisa. To go on the field in the pragmatic way, if we have entrepreneurs here, and maybe you are interested to be part of the financement of European Innovation Council, to inform you the next step, the next cutoff, Denisa, the next cutoff.
So for the accelerator, so we are waiting for the 1st October, where we have the second cutoff. Usually are getting around 1,000 proposals, so we will let you know. With the interviews of the companies that will make it through the second stage is for planned for the second half of January. But also we are now about informing the companies who apply for the STEP. STEP are the strategic technologies for Europe platform, where the scale-up companies in strategic technologies can ask for equity only, because they need EIC as an ultimate investor to be able to catalyze their big rounds, around usually 150 million euros. So we will be informing them and inviting them for interviews in mid-October. And just for your information, when we started in this year with STEP, I mean, the highest number of applicants and beneficiaries comes from France. So it really also responds to the need of and maturity of French deep tech startups, that they are ready to go global in strategic technologies, and they have the capacity to raise high, very insignificant rounds in strategic technologies like quantum or semiconductors. So this is something very reassuring, I find.
Thank you very much, Denisa. On va conclure parce que je vois que le chrono me dit 26 secondes 25. Si vous êtes intéressé pour être financé à 2,5 millions d'euros et avoir un investissement de la Commission européenne à 10 millions, c'est pour les entreprises deep tech disruptives, les technos du futur. N'hésitez pas à écrire sur Google EIC Accelerator et vous allez aller directement dans la page de la Commission européenne. Merci beaucoup à tous pour votre disponibilité et le temps accordé à cette séance, et on vous souhaite une bonne journée.
Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée.